Hello, I'm Philip Brunelle, Artistic Director and founder of Vocal Essence and organist choirmaster at Plymouth Congregational Church in Minneapolis. So each day I've selected a different composer, one that's had a role to play at these two organizations. Sometimes it's a composer in the past, but often a composer living today, such as today's composer, Karl Rütti, R-U-T-T-I, a Swiss composer, teacher at the Zürich Conservatoire, organist, a man I have not met, but someday I'm going to be in Switzerland and meet him. He writes wonderful music for choir. A lot of it is religious. He was influenced certainly by when he spent time in England with the English choral sound, but he also has an interest in blues, and that comes through in some of the chords that he writes. He's done a lot of composition for choir, as I mentioned, but also he's done a concerto for 3 pianos and orchestra, did a concerto for alp horn and strings, and a piece that I've not done, though I've listened to the recording, and someday at Vocal Essence we will do this piece. It's called Mysterious Mountain. And it makes sense that someone who is a composer living in Switzerland with the mountains there would think and be inspired by the texts that are part of that from the Bible. It's a piece for 4 solo singers, a large chorus, and 6 alpine horns. The alpine horn is that long horn, probably about 10 feet long, and you have to have a lot of breath to play it. And it's a stunning sound. And the thought of 6 of them up in the balcony with the choir down front, it's something I look forward to. He has composed a number of pieces for King's College and other choirs in England. And there's a thing about Karl Rütti's music. There's a kind of a chordal sequence that I love. So like when he will do, it's sort of like bitonal. And immediately switching to so when you hear it in tempo, you get I can tell you, no other composer does something quite like that. So it's a very distinctive sound. So this little piece, it's his setting Die Virgine Maria, begins with a solo soprano. And you'd think, well, knowing that he's got that, well, what he does, here's the soprano solo. And around that, the organ part would go Nasrul. And then other verses follow like that. The piece that we have done a number of times at Plymouth Church, and that has been heard, I'm sure many of you have heard it on the broadcasts for the 9 lessons and carols from King's College in Cambridge, is his setting of I Wonder as I Wander. So here is this old Appalachian carol, not at all the way you may have heard the setting of it that John Jacob Niles did, but this one, you have this feeling. You got this basic beat going here, so that it's either 1 and 2 and 1, or it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, ba, ba, ba. So it goes back and forth, and then the choir comes in singing, I wonder as I wander out under the sky. So when you put it together with the organ part, you get this. Music of Karl Rütti. Have a wonderful day.